Oh my goodness, y'all. We have such a treat today. This is not my normal routine thing, but I figured as a photographer and an artist that loves putting together seriously fun, quirky things, I thought it was very important that we talk about something that Jasmyn and I here did together. So I wanted to briefly tell you, I'm Jen with Weirdo Weddings. I'm a wedding photographer. I love being creative, and I feel like my couples know who they are and how they want to express themselves. And that's really one of those things I'm learning to communicate is that a weirdo, no matter who you are, it could be very internal or very external. So today I'm kind of like externally weird. I don't know. Glinda Barbie? Jasmine, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Works. Hi, I am Jasmyn Richardson with Joined by Jasmyn. I am a bilingual wedding officiant in DFW. And so I always let Jen do the creative stuff for me and it's always fun. So I will gladly play along. So I am also blinged out today, representing Glinda the Good Witch.
Yes, I love the fact that when we put this shoot together and we had so many great vendors that were involved and including we had the cake person, we had Grace with, designs by Gigi, we had the wonderful couple that really came together with that concept of the 10 person marrying the
Yes.
scarecrow lion. And then I thought to myself, well, if we're going to do a wedding, we need an officiant. And I was like, not just any officiant, somebody who knows how to have fun and get into character as well. So the first person I thought of that is always a joy and gets really excited to be a part of these photo shoots is Jasmyn. So I am so glad you could come to join us. And I was just wondering, what were your first thoughts when we kind of told you the theme of what the style shoot was going to be about?
Well, first, I appreciate you thinking of me for sure. Um, as someone who grew up on The Wizard of Oz, it was exciting for me because that is something that I know and I'm very familiar with and seen a million times and can probably quote. And, so it felt comfortable and then to know, okay, what are we going to do with this? How are we going to make this? Because I know you, and it's not just going to be regular. So then I was excited to see, okay, where are we going with it? And who am I going to be? Who do I represent? Because I don't quite look like anybody in the movie.
Exactly. And I think that's what was great is that what I love about weddings and people getting married now is that we can take whatever we love, even if we never saw ourselves represented in it, we can make it our own. And I love the fact that we've done this several times now with Lizzie Gator. We've taken Alice in Wonderland and twisted it up. We've taken Beetlejuice and twisted it up. And I felt like the Wizard of Oz was the perfect time to twist it up because I never thought about any of the main characters getting married to each other until it was an idea that just happened, right? So when I came to Jasmyn about potentially being Glinda the Good Witch, really what my head could have gone to the dark side easily. I know that's very easy for some of us to do. But at the same time, I was like, well, I'm thinking about all the vibrant colors we're going to be using. We're going to go for that emerald green and ruby reds. And then I thought to myself, well, Glinda has just enough sparkle about her that maybe we can twist that character just a little bit. So I talked with Jasmyn a lot about our styling. And Jasmyn, you have to share what you ended up doing with the main pieces of your outfit. I got to know.
Yeah, so turns out I started, we're looking at pictures and,
Mhm.
because initially we also kind of thought about the wizard as well.
We did. We
And
did.
and maybe kind of fitting that in. But you said Glinda, and it was like, okay, let me see what I have. And I'm going through outfits, and I sent Jen a picture, and she was like, yes, that's it. And I was like, good, because I already have that in my closet. It happened to be one that I owned already, and it was perfect and pink and blingy, and not necessarily the full princess ball gown, but it definitely, I think, represented what we were going for. And then so it was like, okay, I showed up with all of the sparkles. So I had like a bag of any kind of earrings, all the anything that sparkled. I had earrings, I had the tiara. The headpiece that she's wearing right now, that beautifulness, that is part of what we ended up wearing, and we adapted that with the tiara. And it was really just kind of a the day of we brought all these things, and it was just like, let's see what fits together. And it worked really well, actually.
Yeah, I think the great thing about a lot of these photo shoots is when we have a group message going and we're throwing, each other some ideas and we start to see the thing come together. That is when most of us artists, now I know y'all can feel me, you're shopping on Amazon the day before the photo shoot or something of the equivalent where you can get something shipped fast. Because actually, no, two things happened. The first thing that happened is I was searching for straw. I was searching for straw options. I knew what it was called. I just had to Google it really hard and I went to Michael's and got it, right? The second thing is the headband that I am wearing that I felt like it's not like Jasmyn wasn't sparkly enough. I just felt like what can we do to elevate a look that isn't committing to a 3-foot crown that I don't have access to right now
Right.
because Glinda had a fabulous crown. At least I felt like
She
it was really
did.
large and fabulous. Um, and this took me to Amazon to find something sparkly. And I was like, well, if we wear this right, if we take this headband and we wear it right, it should give us, and even in this terrible web camera, you can see it sparkling.
It
Um,
does.
I was like, just that little tiny bit of sparkle that would photograph really nicely. And I think a lot of times we talked about this yesterday. It's like it's great to put together a styled shoot. It's great to have ideas. As the photographer, I'm always thinking about the end result and how it's going to photograph too. Like it's not like I can't take a chance on something, but if I could play with the ideas enough to have enough styling and details to show off whoever we're styling and and even the cakes, like if the cakes are intricate and detailed and if the couple is intricate and detailed, what are the most details that I can show in some of these photo shoots is what my head is thinking. So this headband was like the perfect addition to something that was already there. And when I look at it now, still, the day I first bought it on Amazon, I kept thinking Whitney Houston,
Mm-hmm.
Whitney
It gave
Houston in
off
The
the bodyguard
Bodyguard.
vibes. Yep.
Tell me that was not the most beautiful headpiece. So
Absolutely.
that's when I saw this, I thought Whitney Houston Bodyguard sparkle. This is what's happening, and it's Glinda, and it's on point with all of the character.
I agree. And the other thing that I loved about Glinda and her as the choice for me is that
Mm.
she is the complete opposite of me in every way. Seriously. She is a Caucasian woman, blonde, you know, just not me.
She has a
And so
very
that's great
Yeah,
though.
she's got a great wispy voice of, "Oh,
Yeah,
you knew all along."
right, right. And so that's great though, because I feel like that allowed us to really take it and kind of twist it. And this is our Glinda, and it's so unique and different. And along with all the other characters, I mean, our couple, those outfits,
Were
I
they
mean,
not on point? Just
they were.
amazing.
It was perfection. And so all of it coming together, it was absolutely greatness. And I don't think it's like anything anyone else has done. And I love we really hit the mark there, I think.
I really think so too. That's why I'm so excited to do all these interviews with all of yous because I am very proud of that set and I am so proud of the team. I'm so proud of everybody that was involved because I don't even think they understood how much actually this satisfied a lot of my visions. I didn't expect to have this many visions. I
Yeah.
thought to myself, "Oh, it's Wizard of Oz Elopement. It'll be so easy and simple." It never is easy and simple for me because as an artist, I'm always thinking beyond and it's just I can't help it. So
Yeah.
something that turned from an elopement into we need all of these people now to come join us on this photo
Yeah.
shoot.
And I mean, the detail, you guys, wait until you see these images.
The
The
details,
details
yes.
in just the florals in the cake, even in my script.
Yes, that's where I was going next.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. All of that together is absolutely, absolutely fantastic.
That is where I'm so glad you said that because that's where I was going next. Because a huge part of an officiant's job is to basically do a lot of speaking in front of people. And you're
Yes.
guiding your couple through their vows and any other rituals that they have, right? So it was interesting to me, and I mentioned this in one of our other talks, that and it's interesting that I met Brian from Vows and Speeches on Clubhouse. A Clubhouse
Mhm.
is a space you could only hear people, you could never see people, you
Right.
just heard them. And so two of the vendors from this particular photo shoot are actually friends I met on Clubhouse. And I incorporated a couple of their things because they're not in the Dallas area. But I
Okay,
thought to
cool.
myself, so many services are limitless in location. So I thought to myself, what would Brian with Vows and Speeches do with a Wizard of Oz where the 10-person marries the Scarecrow Lion? And I do have to say, he delivered. What were your thoughts when you first read them? Uh oh.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Can you not hear me?
I got you. I got you. You're
Oh,
back.
okay. Okay. Sorry. I thought it was beautiful for what and I thought I loved the way he stayed on theme. And sometimes with a theme, it's so hard to figure out how to work those, tie the theme into the normal everyday. It's still about love, it's still about these things, but here's some quirkiness on top of that too. And I love the way he did that. I do. It was perfect. I don't know that I could have written that as well as he did. It was very
Yes.
creative.
We had so much fun. I think we only went back and forth maybe twice, and I gave him feedback, and that was really, really easy and really fun. And the couple hadn't even seen it but until the day of as well. And so they were reading it like, wow, we really like this. Like, this is so us. And I was just, I love the fact that they also validated the fact that it fit in very well. Because if y'all didn't already know this, this is a real couple that we used. And I believe they told me it was their 10-year anniversary, kind of like a celebration, right?
Yeah.
So we're having this big, modeling photo shoot with the Wizard of Oz theme, and they're getting these photos after the, basically as a celebration of their 10 years.
Mhm.
So I thought it was so great that Brian added in stuff that I never would have thought of, including the Munchkins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was like, how does one incorporate the Munchkins? It's not like
Right.
the Oompa Loompas from Willy Wonka where you have color schemes and textures and hair.
Right.
But when you talk about the Munchkins, I'm like, well, do we need to do the Lollipop Guild? I mean, I don't know.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
know. So, when I read the vows, it inspired me. I don't know if you knew this. When I read the vows, it inspired me to go get the Munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes, I think you did tell us that on the group chat. Yes, you were
Yeah.
looking for the munchkins after
And
that.
I had forgotten because I'm not a frequent Dunkin' person, but I have gone there over the years. No matter where I'm at, especially if I'm in the Northeast, I'm like, I'm gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts, and it's an easy donut shop. And then it occurred to me after reading those vows, I was like, well, now I feel like I need a dessert munchkin tower. And so sure enough, based on his vows, I added something into the photo shoot. Here goes Jen adding in more stuff at the very end. And luckily, Designs by Gigi, the wonderful Grace, came in with her, I believe it was a macaroon tower.
Yeah.
And so I was decorating it up until the last minute with the sweetheart table. And I was just so happy that I had options when I went there because I was like, if I get a mixture, then maybe it'll look really cool. And then I also got some last minute, like silver and white, kind of like representing the Tin Man meets, whatever. Maybe even the little globes that or the little bubble that Glinda would float down in, right?
Oh,
It's kind of like
yes.
a
Uh-huh.
representation of that too.
Yeah.
So like these little filler things, the little filler balls that were kind of in between all of the little munchkins. So I just thought that was a fantastic addition that I didn't think of before I read the vows.
Yeah, no. And that's the artistry there that you can take that and be like, yep, I know what to do with that and how to tie that in. And it just worked so well.
And I think we all feed off of each other. Like we've all been in this industry for a while now, and we start to see things at these weddings and we get ideas from other people, which is another reason why I love styled shoots. We're getting ideas from each other as we're designing a styled shoot, but not only that, but we're bringing in ideas we might have seen or worked at another wedding, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then, and then it's one thing to have your script and to have the words on
Yeah.
paper,
Yeah.
but then you gotta execute it. And that was my first time also really getting a good look at the script and being able to read it. So I had to just kind of go, and it flowed so well. And
Mhm.
I mean, it was fun and the couple enjoyed it. And, and it was even, as an officiant, when you're up there, there's also some improvisation happening
Yeah.
because you never know really what's gonna, I don't want to say go wrong, but things happen.
Things
Things
happen.
happen
Yeah.
at weddings. You know, people forget their flowers, things get dropped, all kind of stuff. You know, and so even as we were doing that, there were hiccups here and there, and just how to improvise and keep it rolling and keep it flowing. And also, guys, you can't tell from the images, but we were freezing. We were all freezing. It was so cold. So, also throwing that in is like, I cannot look like an icicle, cannot look like an icicle.
Yeah, and I have to say, compared to all the other styled shoots I've done over there, that was probably one of the warmer ones.
Really, was it?
We did 25-mile-per-hour winds one time because we just couldn't get around it. We'd already
Yeah,
scheduled it,
yeah.
and it was freezing cold, but we made it more of a I would almost say, like, medieval feel with a little bit of faux furs and stuff like that. So we
Hmm.
had the look of, like, this simple elegance with this little bit of fur to actually stay warm. But
Yeah.
yeah, like, I had forgotten because we did this a while back, and we planned on getting published in one area, and the magazine folded up shop literally the week as it was supposed to launch. And then I reached out to Offbeat Wed, which is why we're having all these discussions now, is because Offbeat Wed is about to launch it, and I'm really excited about it because this may be something people have never seen before, and I hope our patience has paid off. Like I
Yeah.
just really believe that it was so much fun that I can't wait to talk about it more once it comes out. But I'm super excited that you remind people that yeah, when you're doing styled shoots, you do want to be mindful of the weather, but like most wedding days, right? Like we can't control the weather and we can't control the schedules of everybody involved. And I think being mindful of our models and being mindful of everybody involved, like even to take breaks and throw on a coat every now and then, is very helpful when you're on a styled shoot and trying to make sure everybody's still happy and energetic.
Sure, sure. But then, like you said, and especially here in Texas doing
Yeah.
weddings, you never know what that weather's gonna do.
It could change
So
weekly.
we are obviously all professionals because we just got out there and did our thing, and it was freezing, but we did our thing, and we stayed as long as we needed to and got the shots we needed, and it worked, and it was all good, and nobody, we weren't angry or complaining or anything. It worked.
No,
It
we
was so much
truly
fun.
did have coffee, as the vows
Yes.
said. Somewhere we had coffee or something warm on site to drink.
Yes. I think
Hot
after
chocolate,
the
maybe?
ceremony, well, after the ceremony was over, I'm sure I ran inside. I'm sure once
Yeah,
my part was
I
done.
had to make sure that nobody froze too much because I know that, depending on what you were wearing,
Yeah,
you either had no sleeves or some sleeves. I
right.
think at one point, Rebecca might have tossed her shoes off, I think, at one
Yeah,
point.
yep.
Got some amazing details. I think one of my biggest challenges was having 2 wedding bouquets that were awesome, and I really wanted them both in the shots. And so that was something difficult for me because I was always obsessed about, "Oh my god, am I getting enough images for everybody involved?" And there's a lot that goes through my head when I'm doing a style shoot that nobody probably understands because, while it was great and fun, I'm like, "Well, I have to have tangible results after or everybody's just gonna be mad at me."
Right. No, I hear
Like,
that.
I need to get Jasmine portraits, I need to get the couple, I need to get both bouquets, and then, Kate had made this floral decoration, and of course, I'm always trying to highlight the venue. Lizzie Gator was gracious enough to work with us on this, so we could actually get many perspectives at Lizzie Gator too, so on my end of it, I feel like I have 20 jobs to do before the day's even over, and I even set up the table myself too, so I was like, "This is the
Yeah.
first time I set up it all by myself." Usually, Lizzie helps co-style with me, I don't know if y'all know that, but or if you've seen that. Um, Lizzie usually helps, co-style, but, like, this one I actually did all by myself until Kate
Because
showed up
she
with
was
the extra
doing a
flowers.
shoot, right?
She was actually doing something fun off to the side. Yeah, she slated, like, some content creation 30 minutes during our shoot,
Yes.
like, no joke. So I'm dealing with schedule conflicts, styling, costuming, making sure everybody stays fed and warm.
Again, she's a professional, y'all. There's so much that goes into a
Not a
style
wedding
shoot,
planner too. Yeah,
especially if
like
you're not a photographer. You don't. I didn't think about all of those things. But
yeah.
as we were going, I know we did all the things with the one bouquet, and then it was like, okay, got to do all the things with the other bouquet, and it made sense, but it's not things that I would have thought about myself. So yeah, you were
Yeah,
definitely
yeah, and
on top
it's really hard to explain unless you understand the details and the structure of a styled shoot and the end results, and not everybody knows because their participation is different than mine or even a planner or a cake maker. Like there's so many different things that their responsibility is this big, and then the overall responsibility really lies on me at the end of the day, because if nobody's photographing it, then what are we doing there?
exactly,
But I
exactly.
love that. I love it though, because it has always challenged me no matter how much big or small. And I love that even with you styling up your character and bantering back and forth with what we want to do with this character, was great for me because I was like, what would we do with Glinda if, if how do we blend Glinda Jasmine?
Yeah,
How do I even blend your name? I was gonna try to blend your
I
name. I didn't do a
know.
good job.
Agenda or a Glassman. Yeah, it doesn't work
Glassman, there
well.
you go, Glassman.
Yeah,
Okay.
Glassman. But yeah, that's totally.
Glassman, the medium good witch.
Yeah, yeah. See, it was totally not what you expected, and I think that's what everybody's gonna like when they see these images and see this shoot. Is it's just not what you expect when you think the Wizard of Oz, and it's so creative, and the
Oh,
colors.
the colors.
I loved the yellow and the red and how all of that came together. It was a lot of good stuff.
And I
So I
know if
think,
I would have had more time, I even talked to Lizzie about, can we spray paint a yellow brick road on the grass? Because that would be so cool. But at the same time, she's like, well, we have other clients that want to use this space. I was like, I know, I know, I know. I was like, but there was no short-term solution that
sure.
worked for a yellow brick road. And I did not want to like get a runner. And I was like, I don't like
Yeah,
runners very
no,
much.
I don't like runners either. Yeah, no, that was smart because
It's a
y'all would
mess.
have seen me fall on my face at that
Yeah,
point.
and I'm like,
I
I
don't
don't
want
think
to.
the couple would have appreciated that either. Like, let's
Yeah,
just walk down the grass. We'll use the leftover yellow rose petals from, rainforest, bringing in a plethora of things for us to play with. And then what else was I going to talk about? What was on the list? Oh yeah, so getting back to the vows.
yes,
Yes. So here's the cool thing, which you already know that I did when we were on there, is in order to make sure that Brian had an outcome for vows and speeches, I recorded it. So we would have audio of his vows and speeches at this photo shoot. So, and this has not been made public. So nobody has seen it. I don't think anybody has seen it. I don't know if I showed it to you yet.
I have not seen it. No.
Okay, so nobody has seen it, but I put it up on YouTube for him to grab. So he has the video, but none of us have seen it or shared it. Maybe I just won't until the thing comes out. But I don't know.
Maybe.
I should share it with my team, right? Like it'd be really great. Um the thing about it is I loved how authentic it felt.
Yeah.
And I know that it's easy to fall into maybe an actor's kind of thing where you're trying to emote something that doesn't make sense, or you're trying to read from a sense of character. I love that everybody that read, the couple that read, that it was very authentic to I felt to who they were. Like it didn't matter if you messed up. It was about let's do the words. Let's make it real.
And that's real life weddings. You might trip over a word or
Yeah.
need to stop and cry and wipe a tear or whatever. And I think what helped to make it so authentic is this was a real couple, like you said, and they
Yeah.
super loving, super fun. And so I think that just made that part even easier. It just really flowed like it needed to flow. I'm excited to see that. I want to
Yeah,
see.
I think I'll send that out to the group today so everybody can see it, because I didn't think about it because we've had so many, I don't want to call them setbacks, but like misdirections of
Yeah.
it's going to happen here, it's going to happen there, and it'll happen in this issue, but now no, now we're closing our doors. So I felt like I had to hold back on everything because I was like, I want to make it a big grand celebration.
Sure.
And now it's just like slowly trickling out. So it's making me all excited again. So
Well, good.
I'll
I'm
make
glad you're
sure
excited.
I'll make sure that everybody, I mean, obviously when the post goes live, I did send it to Offbeat Wedding and to hopefully maybe embed the video as well. That way, you know, Brian's work gets heard, you get
Yes.
seen, the couple's voices get heard as well. So I feel like there's a lot of solid representation in this shoot too. And I think a lot of what my goals have been over the last 3 years anyway is the representation that we know the world needs. And that, like, yeah, I'm a pink haired photographer, but there's a gazillion other people that need to be represented out there. And so when I think about real couples, I think it's just about real life. And not every one of my couples wanna come back and do a modeling shoot or, you know, stuff like that. And I have a lot of great couples that I've been working with, so I look forward to meeting more based upon even the ideas that we throw out there together as wedding pros, letting our work be seen, letting our voices be heard. And then also I feel like couples get so many ideas from the things that we do. We are a living Pinterest board, let's just put it that
It.
way.
Love it. And speaking of representation, the other thing that I love so much is the fact that you included an officiant.
Yeah.
Because so often in these photo shoots, there are couples, but I don't know how they're getting married because there's no officiant. We're not often seen as a necessity for getting the whole picture of what's going on in this wedding. So you always include me. And so I do appreciate you thinking of officiants because one of my goals is to kind of bring awareness to the fact that we are vendors and we are important and we have a big job and I think that is needed in our industry, not just among customers or potential customers,
Yeah.
but also with vendors. We get shoved to the side a bit. So I always appreciate you including an officiant for sure, because that's huge.
And that has definitely been an evolution of my own what I like to say failures because I want people to understand that none of this comes easy to me. It may seem like it's easy, but I've had quite the battle to get here and usually through my own head of like, what do I want to do with my photography? I'm so like trying to figure out what to do with my life and my work that I felt like I had a couple of styled shoots that I showed up to just be a part of. And I was like, I feel like I failed because I couldn't tell the story that I wanted to tell with these details. And I remember the first one, it sticks in my head because it was beautiful. We had so many couples to work with. We had amazing details. But when it came to telling the story in the photographs, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I literally sat there, no joke. And this is not like me, you know, I'm like, I don't even know what to do today. Why am I even here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can take some great portraits, but like you're saying, like there was no officiant. There was like a couple of tables set up as a reception, but there were two different tables. I couldn't show like a whole room of a reception. There was flat lays. When do I ever do flat lays anymore? Like for real, like this is me though.
Yeah.
Not every one of my weddings do or require flat lays. They just don't. And so I was lost, completely lost. And so one thing I started doing with my personal styled shoots is that the only way I could do it to myself to tell the story and make it right was to act like it's a wedding, have an officiant, have the vows, have a ring exchange or a hand fasting, actually all of the above even,
Yeah. Yeah.
have them a kiss, have them a hug, whatever else, and then have them walk down the aisle and then have them walk down the aisle as a couple. Because that was the only way that I could mentally grasp the totality of the story.
Right.
And I know not everybody does that. Again, this is not trying to either or. This is a do what works for you kind of a thing, but do think a little bit bigger out the styled shoots, especially if you're using couples. Get that officiant in there, get other wedding pros in there that you can make it look cohesive without being too wild. And then
Absolutely.
some people have recommended doing stations. I was like, stations are great as long as they add to the story.
Yeah.
At least for
Eh,
me, like, you know, there was a couple people that made comments about having different cake stations or having two different setups for a cake. And I was like, well, that's great. If you're welcome, if you want to come in and set up two to three different stations, please do that because as long as it continues to tell the story, I don't have a problem with it. And I think a lot of our talk around styled shoots has been, is the styled shoot a place where you're welcome to express yourself? And I feel like a lot of wedding vendors walk away that they did feel satisfied and creatively expressing themselves. Did you feel like this particular shoot that you got to infuse some of the, you know, did you like the creative banter? Did you walk away like wanting to do more kind of a thing?
Oh, well, definitely. I can't wait till you tell me what we're doing next because yes. Yes, absolutely. And that's what I said before, that the artistry, I love that. It was cohesive, you made it make sense. It was
Mhm.
beautiful. It was really like being hired to do a real wedding. And so you get real emotion in those pictures. You get real images and yeah, so not all photographers for sure, but I know working with you, other vendors are going to know that they are going to get some space for creativity.
Yeah.
And that is something that I think we can all appreciate with you, is it's not just your way or the highway. It's like, let's what are you thinking? Let's work on this. What looks good? What works? What does, and
Yeah,
it's
we do have some leeway to play a little bit.
yeah. Yeah.
And if I'm in I'll tell you what, I'm sure you already saw this, but, like, if I am solid on a concept and I don't want if I'm immovable on it, it's probably because I see the end result already. But otherwise, I'm very fluid on trying things and, like, "Let's try this look. Why don't we switch this around? Why don't we do this?" I mean, one time we even switched positions of the officiant altogether, and we had the couple stand to the side and the officiant was over there. I mean, it just the possibilities are limitless when you can do a styled shoot because at a wedding day, you're on a very set amount of time, a very set timeline, and other people's desires, wishes, and dreams. But on a styled shoot, you get the chance to dream a little bit for yourself. Would you say that you kind of like get a
Yeah,
little bit of free dreaming
absolutely.
time?
Absolutely. And that makes it fun and it makes you want to come back for more.
Absolutely. I know I always want to come back for more. And I'm going to tell you this much. Like, we have a couple of thoughts in the process right now. But because I'm not a wedding planner, I want somebody else to put it together and I'll just come shoot it.
I I I feel that in my soul. Trust
Yes.
me. I
I
do
have so
understand.
much more love. Wedding planners, I want you to hear me. I have so much more love for you now than I ever have in my entire life because of setting up style shoots.
So I not with setting up style shoots, but with Queerly Beloved, I've gone through the same thing and I go through that process and it's like
Yes.
I am not a planner.
Yeah,
I
so
I
yeah, and
don't
Clearly
want
Beloved is a big project to undertake, correct?
it
Like, it's
is.
you're putting
It's
on a
huge.
wedding, right? Yeah, a whole wedding
Yes, 3
for
weddings.
3 weddings. Do you have to do them all on the same day?
Yes.
Oh god.
Yeah.
You're
So it's a lot and I mean, I'm heading it, so I got to know what's going on, but I'm so thankful for the planners that have come in to help me
Oh my
and
gosh,
make things
yes.
fluid. So planners are vital, guys. Hire a planner.
Monumental. Oh my god.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Well, Jasmine, thank you so much for coming in today and sitting with me for the Wizard of Oz kind of like banter back and forth here. I'm glad I could pay homage. I literally had to find out where I'd put this. It's not that I don't love it. I just because life moves so quickly and like I think it was in my car at one point. I think it was ended up in a box. I'm so glad I found it because I feel like it represents something that was important to me is those last minute purchases that make sense for your styled shoot. And actually, even on your wedding day, not gonna lie, some of y'all couples are probably right now getting something on Amazon that's a 24-hour shipping.
Yes.
No shade, no shame on that. So
That's why we love Amazon. That's why we love Amazon, because we can make those last minute decisions and get what
yeah,
we need here quickly. So yeah,
yep,
for
and
sure.
we learn to establish our windows of things that those last minute ideas are very valid. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say as an artist, those last minute ideas, no matter what they're for, if it's for your cosplay, if it's for your wedding, it's for your party, whatever. It's a very valid thing to just basically follow the yellow brick road, or shall I say follow the pink brick road of your imagination.
There you
So
go, Barbie.
yeah. So if y'all were wondering why I look so weird today, it's because I'm trying to do another version of Weird Barbie. But it was a very bad yellow brick road turned pink brick road, and it looks weird. But I think that's the whole point. But my hair's got bedhead, and I've got my tiara and my little wonderful headband here, which I feel like is a little too high. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to like mess up my little brick road here.
It works. It works. I'm glad you went and found it because it's
Me
been a long
too.
time since that shoot. So yeah,
Me
I'm
too,
glad you
and it
got it
was
on you.
beautiful on you, and everything for your outfit was just stunning, and, that color on your skin tone was, ah, and
It was
I'm so
wonderful.
glad that we gave you just enough sparkle,
Yeah.
to show off that character, because I think people are really gonna get it when they see it, and that's what I loved about this photo shoot is that everybody's
Yes.
gonna get it when they see it, and if they don't, I wanna talk about every single detail that we had a part in. So,
Mhm,
thank you
mhm.
again, Jasmine, for coming out to be with us today and, sharing just a touch of your queerly beloved, project as well, because that's a lot of
Yes.
work, I know it is, but I know it's blessing a lot of people, and, so alright, well, we'll see you at the next one, huh?
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. I look forward to it.
Alright, talk to y'all soon, I'll see you later.
Bye.